This conference will now be recorded.
Hey guys, good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, Nikhila, you're audible. Good
Oh,
morning.
Ye-
Preeti, were you speaking?
Yes, Nidhi.
Okay. Hey, thank you. Okay, let me share my screen. This is for those who can't hear me. Okay. Okay. So let's start. I hope everybody had great festival celebrations. So that's the reason, I took some gap after the demo because I want everybody to come back after the festival. Otherwise, you'll still stay in that New Year mood, okay, that Christmas, long weekends, a Pongal, and all that. So now everything is done. Everybody's back to work. So that's the reason, let's. I thought of starting the session now so that there will not be any more deviations once we begin the sessions. Okay. So now let me quickly start with the agenda for this training, followed by that the content and the day one topics we are planning to cover today. So the agenda for this training is we are planning to cover the topics of CSA and CSSA certification. So what is CSA? Certified System Architect. CSSA? Certified Senior System Architect. So what are these? Why are we talking about these? In order to work on PEGA, certification is mandatory. If you are not certified, people are not going to conduct an interview as well. So why is that so much important? Because if they have to purchase PEGA product, okay, if company has to purchase PEGA product from PEGA systems, they have to show, hey, I have this many certified resources in my company to work on this project. So please provide me the software. So Pega don't even give them the licensing of their software if they don't show the certified resources. Similarly, if you're working in any vendor companies means like like TCS, CTS, Virtusa, Polaris, all these things, they are service based. Clients means UHG, Bank of America, Standard Chartered Bank, World Bank, Amazon, all these are clients. Okay. So if you're working for a vendor company, you will not get billing from the client if you don't show a certified resource. So it is mandatory for you to get certified, and I ask people to get certified as early as possible. Okay, you might have a question, Nikhila, like, how can I get certified without being trained? Please reach out to me offline. We'll talk about it. We provide certification assistance. Okay, so the reason I'm asking you to get certified ASAP, then waiting for the end of the training is because they look for past stated certification. Now, after the training, you guys will claim that you have 3 years, 5 years of experience in Pega. Now, the interviewer may ask you if you have 3 to 5 years of experience in Pega, how come you wrote certification very recently? Right, so that may be a question sometimes, not always, may be a question. So better to get certified as early as possible so that by the time you get into the market, okay, your certification is at least 4 to 6 months old. Okay, so that will be much better. So get certified ASAP and reach me for more queries on this, not here, we'll discuss offline. So we are trying to cover the content of CSA and CWC. See, my agenda basically is whatever is required for a developer with 8 to 10 years of experience in real time to work on day to day basis. I cover as a part of the training. So I don't say, I'm not going to cover LSA part. LSA is also a certification, guys. So we cover a mixture of everything. I say, everything required for a developer to work in real time, we cover. Frequently used, okay, not something rarely used. Because in my, whatever is 80% common in all the, projects, whatever we do day to day life, I'm going to cover. See, certain projects will have some concepts being used which may not be used in other projects. So whatever is frequently used, whatever is frequently asked in the interviews, we are going to cover, because my agenda towards the end of the training is none of you people should opt for a proxy for interviews. None of you should rely on a job support person for working in the, you know, PEGA environment. So we make sure that you will not require these two. That is the end goal of mine towards the end of this training. So this is about the content. And you, as all know, we are going to do this for 3 months. So I stick to my schedule, guys. It will be exactly 3 months. Maybe once or twice, maybe 1 week extra or 10 days extra, not more than that. So I stick to my schedule. Now, when we'll have sessions will be conducted only on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday morning, 7 to 9, we will have the session. Saturday and Sunday, 7 to 10, we'll have the sessions. Okay. So we will be connecting 8 hours weekly, 8 hours live weekly. Now, how about the rest of the 4 days? Are you going to sit idle? Not at all. You will have a lot of homework to complete. So we are going to work on two projects. Okay. One is healthcare. Healthcare is prior authorization. Prior authorization means before you get any surgery done or before you get admitted in any hospital, okay, you apply for the insurance. So the insurance company has to provide pass, prior authorization. Okay, prior authorization system we call it as. So they provide that approvals or rejections or copy or co-ratio updates. So that is the business of this project which we are going to discuss. The other project is banking, okay, which is all about claims processing. Claims in the sense, when you lost your card or somebody has hacked your system, or somebody has stolen money from your account, some fraud or non-fraud issue has happened on your card. Now you complain to the bank and bank is going to resolve it. So that is claims processing. So why only these two projects? Why not any other domain? See, if you look at the client base of Pega, maximum projects are from banking and healthcare. So if you learn these two projects, it's quite easy for you to get into the market because people look for domain knowledge. Whether you go for Bank of America or Standard Chartered or World Bank, the claims processing project workflow remains the same. Healthcare, whether you go for IAG or UHG or Apollo, wherever you go, Alair, all the healthcare clients do the same workflow processing. So they need domain knowledge as well along with your Pega knowledge. So it is good to learn these projects. Now, what if I want to practice more and more? In case if you want to practice more and more, I'm going to give another project as a homework or like exam you can take. So if you all are performing well, generally I also conduct a practical exam. So once in a month we conduct practical exams where I'm going to show you some project output, and I ask you to build exactly the same replica. So if you are doing well, I can also provide the another project as a exam. So the third project which I generally give as an exam is Paytm. Okay, so I ask people to build exactly the replica of Paytm. So this is how it is. See, I show the Paytm project, like the actual Paytm website. Okay, and I ask you to build every single functionality which is here. Okay, so that is like an exam for you because this is something we use in day-to-day life. So I want you to implement your Pega knowledge and build something like Paytm. Now this is optional only if you're performing well, and if you reach out to me, I can help you with this. Now what else? Okay. How about the interview assistance and job assistance? Interview assistance. Okay. So as a part of the training, I'm going to brush you on all the interview questions being asked in the market on the same day when a topic is being taught to you. If I'm teaching you soap integration today, I will tell you what are the generally asked questions on soap service and soap, what do you say, sir? Connect soap and service soap. Similarly, whenever a particular topic is being taught to you, I will cover all the interview questions on that particular topic on the same day. Okay. Now, how do I evaluate whether you're preparing well or not? Once in a week or once in 2 weeks, we will have mock interviews conducted on the so far completed topics. Okay. So we'll have mock interviews regularly. So if a mock interview is being conducted on day 15, Day 1 to day 15, whatever is thought, I'm going to ask you. If it is being conducted on day 30th, day 1 to day 30, whatever I have thought, I'm going to ask you. So this makes sure that you are not off track and you don't forget the topics which were taught in the beginning of the training. And I also make sure that you are giving the correct examples. I also make sure that you're maintaining your confidence levels. And if there's anything wrong in the phrasing of the sentence and or understanding of the topic, I can correct you in this mock interviews. Okay, so I'm not going to conduct a mock interview once towards the end of the training. No, I'm going to do it on regular basis so that you still remember everything which was taught to you in day one, even when you're at the end of your training. So you no need to spend extra time after the training just to brush up on the interview questions because you are regularly being interviewed. Okay, and I'm going to share you 26 interview call recordings which I have attended and cleared. So 26 company recordings you're listening, which means 70 to 80% of the questions you will become familiar because whatever call recordings I'm giving you, mostly the same questions you can expect in your upcoming interviews. So this is about the interview support. Now coming to the job assistance. Okay, I keep sending messages on openings. Okay, wherever we have as updates, wherever we have any openings on Pega, I keep sending messages. But if you're looking for any good companies, like any product based companies, then I suggest you to search on your own on LinkedIn and Naukri, because whatever info I get to know, most of them will be service based. Okay, but if you're looking for product based, touch base with the people in the product based companies because they may have couple of openings and they may not put it on LinkedIn or Naukri. So touch base with them or search on LinkedIn. You will find product based companies openings. Whatever service based I see in the market, I keep sending you updates and you can apply them. And I also have my students working in various organizations. So whenever they have openings in their organization, they ask me to give referrals. So they will send me their mail ID and they will send me the job description, and I post it to all my students. And that's how my past students will help my new students. And we have contacts with few HRs. So whenever they have openings, they reach out to us asking for profiles. So that we refer. So either of whatever is possible, I refer and we provide job assistance in that way. Coming to interview, resume preparations and project descriptions. I'm going to give you some sample resumes. Okay, as many resumes or if you want, I can give you sample resumes. And I'm going to give you the project descriptions of the project which you are working here. So you can keep it in your resume. Okay. And if you want more project description, suppose let's say for example, you kept some company in your resume and that company doesn't have any healthcare or banking client. Now you may ask me, Nikhila, what should I do? In that case, I can give you some generic projects, some projects which belong to HR team, some projects which belong to finance team. Every company will have finance team and HR team, right? So I can give you project descriptions of HR team and finance team. You can keep them in your resumes. Okay, and I can explain you the projects. So that is about the training agenda, guys. Do you have any questions on this one? You
I
can,
do have a question.
yes, please.
Uh, if someone who is non-technical without any technical experience is going to join the course, how are they going to have the project details, and will it not be all fake?
Okay. So of course it is fake. Undoubtedly it is fake. Okay. Um, I see some questions. Okay. So you have to reach out to any consultancy. Okay. Take some fake certificates and you have to put a fake experience and you have to move on. So we can talk more about this offline because this is being recorded. I don't want to cover all that. And that's how
Okay.
everybody is moving because post COVID the number of
Mm-hmm.
non-IT people learning Pega is growing a lot. Pre-COVID, it was not
I
that
see.
was not the case. Out of 100 students, I used to have like five maximum non-IT, but now it is like 20 plus. I'm seeing a lot of
I
non-IT
see.
people are migrating because Pega
Mm-hmm.
is a no coding tool or low coding tool. So people felt that it's quite easy to learn and migrate to IT using Pega. So most of them are moving that way nowadays. In my last batch, I had three managers from HDFC Bank who had 10 years of experience. and two of them
Mm-hmm.
got placed in India, and one person even flew out of India. So they all settled in
Okay.
Pega now. So it's working out. But
Nice.
I don't say for everyone it's working, but those who kept
Mm-hmm.
efforts, in all possible ways it has to work out. So
Right. So,
it's
as per
working out.
your vast experience with Pega, what do you think? I mean, what's the percentage? Like nine, or maybe say
What?
2 out of 10? Is that the ratio that
No,
people are getting hired?
no, nothing like that. See, you have a lot of openings on Pega in the market, and the number of
Mm-hmm.
people available on Pega right now is also increasing. That was not the case, before 2015. Many people, see, I have
Mm-hmm.
been in training since 2011, so many people didn't even know that Pega exists. They were thinking like Pega is a new tool, but it has been in the market
Okay.
since 1980s. But
Mm-hmm.
now, like, everybody's aware of Pega. You can even see a lot of trainers in the market. Like for every gully you
Mm-hmm.
have a trainer of Pega trainer. It's like that. So that's because the number of people migrating to Pega is huge, and they're still finding opportunities. That's the reason everybody
Uh-huh.
is learning, right? Otherwise, why would see? Because many people reach out to me
Sure.
saying that, Nikhila, I learned DevOps, or I learned SIP, but not many openings in the last 1 year. So if there are not many opportunities, 100% people will not make an attempt to learn Pega. Right? What is the point in learning
Sure.
if you don't find opportunities in your own country? So because there are
Mm-hmm.
opportunities, they're migrating. And even in my demo video, I have shown you people, how many clients are
Mm-hmm.
using Pega. I can just play it once
Sure.
again. So the client base is very high. So it's
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did
so
see that. The
yeah.
client base is definitely
So
high.
if
Mm-hmm.
the client base is high, obviously you will have
Mm-hmm.
large number of vendors as well. So every client will have
Mm-hmm.
vendors, right? So there are a lot of openings. So you can just check this in my demo recording.
Yeah, sure
So
thing. Yeah.
so far it is
Yep.
good.
Thank you. Yep. Yep. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody has any other questions, guys?
Yeah, hi Nikhila. Morning. I'm Abhirami from here.
Hey, Abhirami.
So I'm having doubt like yeah, I'm currently working in telecom domain. So I think your training is going to be on project based, which is healthcare and banking. So how helpful it will be for me to relate to the telecom domain your training?
So if you're coming from telecom domain, see, of course, Pega is also being used in telecom domain, but I never worked on those projects. So as I told you, in case if your company is holding IT, okay, maybe you are working on IT or non-IT, but if your company is holding IT and you don't have any healthcare or banking clients, then you can keep some HR or payroll or finance related clients I can give you. So they are quite easy to understand. Even a layman can understand. See, HR means I'm going to give you projects which are related to what is this, severance. Severance means like if a person is not performing well in the company, they remove them by doing some full and final settlements, right? So it was a project which was built on Pega, which I have worked. So I can give you that. If you want finance, I can give you payroll projects like salary processing. I worked on that. So they're quite simple, and even a small kid can understand the project descriptions. So I can give you that, and you can keep in your resume.
Yeah, that's okay. But like I'm interested more in telecom because I have worked 4 years in telecom, 5 years in telecom domain. So, will I be able to move on in same telecom domains after this training, or that won't be possible because it's going to be a project based
See, it
masking
depends
like
on
that?
which company you're being recruited, right, and what is their requirement. It purely depends on, see, if you're going for Bank of
Yeah,
America, it will not be there. If you're going for Amazon, maybe you'll be working on AWS, Alexa, and some, those. It purely depends on for which company and which project you're getting recruited. And why do you want to stick to one domain? I always want to work on multiple domains so that your resume weightage increases and you also grow because you learn how to use Pega in various domains, various architectures. So it's always good to explore. Yeah, don't stick to any project for more than 3 to 4 years because your learning gets stagnated there. You will not see much learning because you will reach a comfort zone there. It's not good to stay for longer run in the same project. Same company is okay, but same project is not good. Learning will not happen.
yeah, okay. So if I am a that's okay. That's fine to be exploring many projects, but like after this time, once I completed this training, so I can able to understand all the like how it been built in telecom domain also, right? So
Yes, of course.
like how
So
they are
if you're
using the code
using
for
any
that.
telecom
Yeah,
app in your current company, you can try to build it on Pega. Try to replicate it on Pega if you have some time. Like I was asking you to build Paytm, right? Why Paytm? Why not your own project, whichever you're working?
yeah.
So try to replicate it. And if you have any questions, you can
Okay.
reach out to me.
Yeah, that's what.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And somebody is asking me a question about out of India opportunities. See, I know about US and Canada, we have good number of opportunities on Pega. If you're from any other country, I'm not pretty sure. But US, I know because we work, right. I mean, like, I have a lot of clients from US, and the other thing is like because I'm also working, we work in this onshore offshore model, right? So many of my friends are located out of India, and they are working on Pega there. So US perfect, the market is good. Canada also, the market is good. Other countries, I'm not 100% sure. Australia, it is good. Yeah, that is also good. And Singapore has a lot of Pega projects, but the work culture, right? Singapore, it's little like that, but you find it over there as well. Is it? I'm really shocked. Singapore has a lot of Pega opportunities. Maybe, because you come from a testing background, maybe you're not finding dev. Because here from India also we apply for Singapore. I find a lot of opportunities, but the only thing is like work culture is more worse than in India. So I don't prefer to move to Singapore. But you find a lot of opportunities here. Somebody's asking me in the chat, guys, so I'm answering them. Okay, we'll
Yeah,
talk about
Nikhila,
it
this is
offline.
Sandeep.
Yes, Sandeep, please.
Yeah, I have a small question. I just
Mhm.
wanted to know about the both the certifications, how we'll be able to complete it before the training itself.
Okay, Sandeep, I'll discuss offline. Okay, I'll post the details in the
Okay,
group. Okay, so you find some support in
okay,
the market through which you can complete
okay,
a certification. So what and how, I'll discuss offline.
okay, fine. Thank you, Nikhila.
Okay, no problem. So please pause your questions here, guys. I'll take yeah, Rajesh, you have something?
Yeah, one last
Yes,
question.
please.
Sorry
Yes,
about that.
please.
So, I'm actually a BA right now, and I have more than 6 years of experience. So, in case I'm attending an interview, how do I explain the transition?
Okay, see, first of all, if you're so genuine and if you say, I want to move from BA to PEGA, not everybody may give you an opportunity. If you're moving internally, that may be possible. But if you're trying outside, I don't think people may, entertain because they find many Pega dev profiles, right? So why should they take you? So I suggest people to, put some dev experience in your resume, and that's how you have to move. So if you're, you can give like 3 years or 4 years of dev and the remaining experience as a Pega BA. That's how you can say. So don't ask them transition right now. Tell them you're already a developer some time back.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay,
But
Nikhila.
it's valid, right, Rajesh? See, let's say you yourself, you're the recruiter. I have hundreds of Pega dev profiles in the market. Why should I take someone who is looking for an opportunity now? Because I don't want you to risk my project, right? See, if I'm recruiting you, I want you to help us in completing my project. Now, if you're a newbie, if you're a developer who is just, starting his career in Pega, how would you able to help me and my team, right? So 100%, I will not do that because, I want somebody who is more skilled than my team so that we speed up the things in the project. So that is the reason people may not, show interest in hiring. So that's the reason we put some fake experience, but make sure you're technically strong. Only then you'll find an opportunity. And that's what we try to do throughout the training.
Sure, Nikhila. Got it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, please pause your questions, guys. Let me take to the next things. Now, this is only about the agenda and what we are trying to do. And now I'll just show you my course content. What are we planning for the training? And then we'll start with the content. Where is that? Yeah. See, as I told you, I try to cover everything which is required for you to work in real time. Okay. So this is the content, guys, which we are trying to cover. This is also available on my website, and I can also share you this document on WhatsApp. You can go through it. You can check with any of your Pega friends, and you can confirm, is there anything I'm missing which is used in day to day life? Okay, so whatever we generally use in day-to-day life, whatever is generally asked in the interviews, I cover everything. Forget about this number of hours. Okay, I do corporate trainings, so those number of hours are for corporate trainings, not for you. This is all the content. Okay, you can always find it on my website, or I can share you the documents and you can get it validated. Is Nikhila covering everything or not? You can just check. Okay, now we are going to start with day one topics today. So as a part of demo, I have already covered what is PEGA, what is BPM, and all this. But still, let's do it again because we are on day one. Let's start with this and we will do till here today. Okay. So first of all, what is PEGA? See, initial days, okay, earlier days we used to call it as PRPC. So don't get confused if you see anywhere PRPC. PRPC means Pega Rules Process Commander. In the recent days, like from the past 1 year or 2 years, now everybody is calling it as Pega, but earlier it was like PRPC. So don't get confused if you see anywhere PRPC, it's one and the same. Now, what is Pega? See, Pega is basically a automation tool. Okay, it's a software, it's a tool, it's a platform. Now, what do you do there? You build web applications and mobile applications. Okay. Now, why should I go with Pega? I have so many tools in the market, right? So, the only reason is Pega is highly automated, guys, highly automated. Okay. So, generally, if I'm a software developer and I want to build a project like Paytm, what should I know? Maybe I should know Java, I should know .NET, Java or .NET, okay, anything. And I should know, of course, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, all these things I have to know. Otherwise, I can't build a project no in any company. Now, let's say I'm not a coding person. I don't like to do coding and I'm not good at coding. Then how can I build a web application? I need some tools which can auto generate the code, right? So that is what is Pega. Pega is basically a tool which is highly automated. Okay. Pega developers will just only do the configurations. The code is automatically generated in the backend. So what is Pega? Pega is a software tool which is used to build web applications and mobile applications. Is any coding involved in Pega? No, absolutely there is no coding involved in Pega. Then how is the project getting built without any coding? Pega is generating code in the backend. Pega developers are not writing any coding. Pega is generating coding in the backend. Then what is the Pega developer doing there? If Pega itself is generating the code, why are we sitting there? We do the configurations, man. We will tell, this is where I want a button, this is where I want a calendar control, this is where I want a validation, this is where I want a soap service, a file listener. We do the configurations and Pega automatically generates code in the backend. Okay, so what code will be generated? Java, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, all this code is automatically generated in the backend, and Pega takes care of all the debugging and everything. Okay, so let me show you a simple example. This is a project which was built on Paytm, right? It's actual Paytm website. I just opened the source code of it to see what is behind the UI. Now you can see how many lines of code they have written just to build that screen. It's 285 lines. And of course, the functionality, the script is hidden, right? You can only see the UI part. But on click of this button, go to this page. On click of this button, do this validation. All that code is hidden. You're only seeing the UI, how the screen is designed. So 285 lines of code they have written. Let's say, they took maybe like a month to do this screen building because 285 lines, it will take some time, right, to get this output, alignment and everything. Okay. Now, same thing if I have to build in Pega, let's say how easy it is. See, this was something which we have built on Pega. You can see this, right? Same replica we have built. See? Now, how easy it is to build it on Pega? Let me show you. Okay. So in Pega, we have some UI rules where we just drag and drop whatever you want. Suppose I want a checkbox, drag and drop. Okay, I want a button, drag and drop. I want a menu, drag and drop. This is a menu, right? This one is a menu. Like this, we drag and drop. And that's it. What has to happen on click of that button or on click of that menu, we configure. So you can say this is a menu. Okay. So payment for customer, this one. Okay. It's a menu. You can see we configured a menu here. In the menu, we will write what all options have to display on click of that. So that easy it is. Maybe in 1 week, maximum in 1 week, I can build the same screen in Pega. See, whatever items I want to display on click of that, I have written here. It's that easy. Okay. So where is the code then? Pega has generated in the backend. I can't even see it. Sometimes we can't even see what is the code that is generated in the backend, because what do you have to do with that? You're not going to edit it. You can't do anything with that. So in some rules you can't even see what is the backend code generated. You have nothing to do with that. So they don't even show you in certain rules. Okay. Actually, in the older versions of Pega, they used to show us the code in the backend like this. But now they are hiding it. Okay. In earlier version, they used to show, now they're even hiding it. So, like this, Pega is a tool or a platform where we can build web applications and mobile applications. The best part with Pega is everything is automated. No Pega developer is going to write any coding. We only do configurations. Okay, so this is with the UI. You can see everything is built in like this. Whatever I want, I can just drag and drop and I can use it. I can upload a video, I can upload an image, I can keep a chart, whatever I want, I can do. I can put maps, whatever I want, I can do. So that's with the UI. Now, how about the functionality? Like on click of this sign in button, they have to do a scan code, login, and all that. How do you do that in Pega? In Pega, if you want to do any functionality, we have different rules like activities, data transforms. Using those rules, we do the functionality. Now, let me show you how we do that. I'm just trying to prove that we don't do any coding in Pega. Okay, so this is how we wrote here. We write the functionality in Pega. So you can see there is no coding. Then what am I doing here? I'm just calling some existing methods. These are all methods. Okay, so you have to learn what are the methods and functions in Pega, how to give my input and get the output I desire. That is what you do in Pega. Learning how to configure the existing methods and functions, how to use the existing UI elements or UI controls is what we learn throughout Pega. So everything is built in. Maximum services, APIs, functions, methods, reports, most of the things are built in. You just need to learn how to call them, how to give input, how to take the output. That is what we do as a part of Pega training. And if you want to see the output Java that got generated, if you click on this view Java, Pega shows you what is the Java code behind what you have configured. See, it's more than 1200. So the code gets generated in the backend. You as a Pega developer, you never do coding. Okay, now coming back again. So Pega is a tool or a platform where we build web apps and mobile apps. Pega is a tool which was built on Java, but you Pega developers no need to learn Java because Java code is generated in the backend and you don't even have the privilege to edit the code or do anything with the code. So it's not necessary for you to go and learn Java. Okay, now Pega is not a database, guys. Okay, it's not a language, it's just a platform. Okay, so what is Paytm, guys? It's a platform to recharge mobiles. What is Google Pay? It's a platform to do money transfer. Similarly, what is Pega? It's a platform where I build web applications. Now, why should you use Pega? Because I don't want to do any coding. It's not because I don't like to do coding, it's because we don't want to waste time in building a web app using code. See, if I have to build the same application in using HTML and Java, you saw how many lines of code I have to write. Whereas the same thing, if I have to do it in Pega, you saw how easy it is to do it in Pega. Which means the time taken by you to build this versus the time taken by me to build this is comparatively very less. Which means I can get into the market before you. Means I can make more customers than you. right? I can make more business than you. So that's the best part with Pega. That is the reason everybody is moving towards Pega, because building a project in Pega is quite easy. So I can get into the market first before their competitors, and they can grab more number of clients. That's the reason people are moving towards Pega. Okay. Now, now Pega is a leading BPM tool in the market. Now, what is BPM? So generally we have categories, guys. Okay, certain tools are called as BPM, certain tools are called as CRM. Like this, we have different types of categories in the IT industry. So we'll talk about BPM in the next few minutes. Now, Pega says that whatever projects they are building are 12 times faster than traditional coding. So if it took me 12 months to build this, it will take me only 1 month to build it in Pega, because we are 12 times faster than them. Okay. And the next one is, just good to know. See, Pega Systems is the organization who owns this product. Okay. And Ellen Teffler is the CEO of that. Just you have to know. Okay. Now coming down, what type of applications do you build on Pega? See, generally most of the Pega applications are intranet applications. So what do you mean by intranet? Something which is available on the internet. This is Paytm. It's internet application, means I can go to Paytm from my mobile. I can do it from my office. I can do it from anywhere in the world, right? Internet. It's on the web. Anywhere I can do it. Now let's say, for example, no, let's say you're working for a, let's say you're working for Indian visa company. Okay. Now there is an employee who processes visas. If you go to the visa office, they will process your visa. Can the employee do work from home? Can he sit at home and say, Nikhila, call me, I will process your visa? That's not possible, right? Because that visa application will work only when he's sitting in the office network. It will not work when he sits at office, when he's sitting at home. Okay. Similarly, let's say, for example, you're trying to book a Tatkal ticket. Okay. Take about the olden days, not now. Okay. Train Tatkal ticket. What you used to do? You have to go to the train railway station. You have to stand in that Tatkal counter, and that person, he will be using some Tatkal application to process your ticket. Can you do work from home? No, because that application is not going to come if he's sitting at home and connected to his Wi-Fi. That application comes only when he's sitting in the office network. Similarly, a loan processing application. Can the banker sit at home and say, hey, can you please come to my home today? I'm not feeling well. I'll process your loan at home. No, that's not possible, right? Because that application works only when he is sitting in his bank. It will not work when he's sitting at office or traveling in a train. It's not going to work, because they are on intranet, means company network. Now why are they not on the internet? We have various reasons, security reasons. Okay, those applications contain a lot of customer data. If you keep them on the intranet, they may hack and do all that. And the other thing is, like, those applications are used only by their employees. So why do you want to keep it on the internet? And it's not necessary, right? Only employees of that company work, and employees are expected to come to office. So generally those applications are always on the internet. Now, why Pega applications are mostly on the intranet and not on the internet? The reason is, again, Pega is a very, very, very expensive tool, very expensive. Okay, we are using personal edition, so fine. But when you use enterprise editions, okay, Pega is a very expensive tool. So when you're using such expensive tool, okay, if I want to build an application something like Amazon or Paytm or Google Pay or Mintra or Swiggy, okay, the investment I have kept versus the money I'm generating should match. Okay, suppose you have invested, like, let's say for example, you have invested like 50 crores to buy this Pega tool. I don't know the cost, licensing cost, guys, because it depends on the company, the number of users, the tie-up they have with them. The licensing cost depends on various factors. Okay, so don't take my word for granted. I'm just telling you, for example, let's say for 50 crores I have purchased the Pega licensing for my company. Now let's say I have built an app like Swiggy or Amazon. Now the money I'm generating from the clients using that application is, let's say for example, it is like 10 crores per year. Then you will run into losses, right? For the licensing you are paying 50 crores. Again you are paying for your developers, testers, administrators, DB team in your company. And again, you're generating only 10 crores. Then how does it, you'll run into losses. So that is the reason, generally we use Pega only in the areas where you can generate a lot of revenue. See, Amazon, Flipkart, Mintra, Google Pay, Phone Pay, can't I build it with .NET or Java where the licensing cost is comparatively less? I can do that, right? Then why Pega? So Pega we use only in the areas where we generate a lot of business. Only in those areas we use. Let's say, for example, health insurance. Everybody will play health insurance, right? Just thinking that this year, if something happens to me, okay, I can claim my insurance. Or like that, we pay health insurance. But by God's grace, we pray that nothing should happen in that year. So let's say 10,000 people paid health insurance to Alir. Alir is a healthcare, okay? It's one of the healthcare clients. Or let's say Apollo. Everybody is aware of Apollo. Let's say Apollo. I have taken Apollo, okay, health insurance. And, let's say I have 10,000 people have paid it. No, maybe hardly 3,000 people will avail that in that year. So 7,000 people, they don't use. So that's a, what do you say? It's a income to the company, right? Now, like that, whenever they use insurance, they have to apply to the company has to approve it or reject it, or say copay or co-ratio. Now this whole process have to be done at the earliest possible, because if I have a surgery in the next 1 week, and if this insurance company says no, my application is little slow, we need a month time, then nobody is going to use it, right? So we have to build applications in such a way that within 24 hours, you have to provide the response to the client. So such kind of applications we build on Pega. Why? Here I am generating a lot of input, man. 10,000 people took the insurance and 3,000 people only utilized it. I have a lot of, income coming. I'm generating a lot of income. So it is worth investing the money on Pega and building a insurance project so that I can give response to my insurance clients within 24 hours, like whether the insurance is approved or rejected, or they want to go for copay or co-ratio, I can do all that. So fast development we can do, fast decisioning we can do, and we can give the results to the clients. Similarly, take another example. You lost your credit card and somebody has taken 1 lakh from that card. Okay, now you complain to the bank. Now what will bank do? They will try to, try to file an FIR. They will try to contact Visa, MasterCard, and try to get a refund for your amount. And they will try to catch the person and, issue a new credit card and do all the things. Now, what if bank says, guys, I need, 45 days to process? You will say, please, thank you. I will move to another bank. So even here, we want to build an application where we can quickly resolve the issues of the clients. And you know how much banks make, right? So they make a huge revenue. So it's worth investing on Pega for building banking applications like claims processing, not for that online banking website, where you do a fund transfer, adding a payee, requesting a checkbook, not there. You should build a project for a bank where you can process claims, fraud claims, non-fraud claims. Like I went to an ATM, I have withdrawn the money, it was deducted once, but I got a message like twice my money was deducted because of network issue. So I raised a complaint. So all these kinds of claims we process using Pega projects, because it's worth using Pega. There we generate a lot of revenue. We can do the development fast. Whenever my client comes up with a new requirement, I can do the development fast and get into the market. Okay, so we use Pega there. So basically, we use Pega mostly in the intranet applications only, because there we have a lot of business, guys. See, like as I told you, if I go to citibank.com and I find a website where I can add a payee, make a fund transfer, request a checkbook, change my password, look at my transaction statement from the last 3 months, that project doesn't generate any revenue to me. It's nothing. So I can use it on Java, .NET or something else. Whereas claims processing, it's extremely important for me, because if I don't resolve the issues of the clients within the a short span, they may move to another bank. So claims processing, health insurance processing. I worked on a project where we were processing the salaries of the employees. Paying employees salary on time is extremely important. Most of the companies pay you even on 28th and 29th, because that's a reputation, guys. If you missed paying the employees on time, you're not working in a good company. Okay, so it's a reputation. So we have built a project on Pega for processing the payroll of the employees. So like this, we use Pega only in the areas where you have a huge business, you generate a huge revenue, or it's extremely important. And most of the applications are intranet. Okay, because end user exposed applications don't drive that much business. You can see Paytm. See, Paytm, you just make a fund transfer, you do, you can, what do you say, that you can pay your electricity bill, current bill, and all. So you can build this on Pega because it's doing something good, right? Like it is generating revenue for you. You can pay your electricity bill, current bill, many things. You can pay your, what is that? Challans and all, mobile recharges, internet recharge, many things you can do. So if it is generating revenue, yes, even if it is on internet, I can still build it on Pega because it's generating a lot of revenue for me. So like that, we decide where to use Pega. 80% of Pega projects are intranet. Only 20% you will see on the internet. Even PayPal is using Pega. A lot of companies use Pega. Any questions so far, guys? So as I told you, most of the Pega applications are used internally by the employees of the company. Maybe a customer support representative, maybe a insurance person, maybe a banker. Okay. So like this, most of them are used internally by the company than external users like you and me, because internal to the company they will have lot of business related things than external projects which are on the internet. Okay, so I used Pega in a legal domain. So we were using Pega to process the cases in the court. Okay, so after the judge makes a decision, we used to capture that in Pega, and based on the decision, like insurance used to get processed for that person if it is an accident case. So we had some things like that. So again, it was also used in the legal domain internal to that company, not on the website. So lawyers used to use that website which we have built. So most of the Pega applications are intranet. It is not that you should build it intranet only, but we should be used in areas where you generate more revenue. Otherwise, there's no point in investing so much money in buying Pega tool. Any questions on this one? Okay, there's a question in the chat, guys. As Pega is faster and easier, and why do we need many Pega developers? See, it's compared to the number of developers in Java and .NET project versus Pega, it's comparatively less, Hussein. Okay, so if I need 10 developers to build same Paytm project in Java, I may need 3 to 5 developers in Pega. Okay, not more than that is not required. So the number of resources required, the amount of money we pay to the resources, and the time we invest, the time we go to the market is comparatively high when compared to Java or any other traditional tools. Okay, you should know one thing. See, there are many projects where we are even dealing with one single resource. So, there were, I used to work for Amazon. So I was the only resource in the project who used to deal the whole project, because the same thing, we don't need too many developers to work on a Pega project, but that's not the case everywhere. Okay, because that was a small project, I was the only resource. Similarly, in another organization, I used to work in a banking organization as well. So there also I was the only resource. So if it is a small project, one single resource is also sufficient for Pega. But if it's a big project, you will have multiple scrum teams. Okay, we'll talk about scrum teams and all later on. On the same project, multiple teams will be working. Okay, so it depends upon the size of the project, your client base, and how many requirements you get regularly. Okay, if the number of requirements are too high, obviously you need another helping hand. Single person can't do that. So various factors will decide that. Somebody has asked me a question. Nowadays, everywhere artificial intelligence is, coming up. So is it going to impact Pega? See, in Pega also we have AI. Okay, we have chatbot, we have AI, we have my machine learning, we do decisioning, we do a lot of things. Okay, so it's not going to impact Pega to certain extent. It will not impact, because AI can't generate my Pega code, right? You can just go and ask, how to try this. It may help you, but it can't generate the code and give you in Pega tool, right? See, AI can give you Java code, .NET code that you can come and paste, but Pega it can't, right? Because it can't come and type in the Pega tool. So it may just only tell you how to do and what to do, but end of the day you have to sit and write. What do you mean by longest period, Ganga? Which domain will take longest period? I didn't get longest period. So some Satish, there's a question. There are many low. See, there are many BPM tools in the market. Okay, Pega is not the only BPM tool, but none of the competitors are near to Pega. None of them are near to Pega. Okay, so still we are ruling in the market. So in the last 30 years we are ruling, and still we are ruling in the market. Go ask any Pega senior developer. Okay, are they migrating any projects, Pega projects, to any other, no coding tools? Only we used Appian in few scenarios, but Appian is not that flexible and scalable. Other than that, we don't see any other competitors. Appian is also not that good competitor of Pega. Complete a project, how much time? No, Ganga, there's nothing like that. See, if you're working in a banking project, regularly you will have requirements, right? There is nothing like this project has come to an end, we are doing sunset. No, nothing like that. Okay. It purely depends on how. See, Paytm is there. How was Paytm 10 years back and how is Paytm today? 10 years back, we only used to do mobile recharge. What are you doing today? You do a lot of things. So, did the Paytm project end? No. So, like this, every business wants to grow. So, there is never like, my project came to an end, we are closing. It's never like that. Hardly few projects happen like that. Few projects means, like I told you, salary processing project. What will you do in that every year? It almost remains the same, right? So, certain projects like that may come to an end, but not every project, right? Like banking projects will never come to an end, healthcare will never come to an end. Most of the projects never come to an end, because every year we want to grow, we want to do something new for your clients, right? So there's nothing like that.
I have a question.
Yes, Raghavi.
Actually, Paytm is an internet application, right?
Exactly right.
So we can build internet applications also because of licensing cost only. We are building only
Of
intranet.
course. See,
You're saying.
Pega doesn't have any restriction like you shouldn't build intranet or you should not build internet. Nothing like that. It's you who has to decide. As I told you, 80% are intranet and 20% are internet are there. Pega is used to build a app for airport in one of the countries airport. I'm not recollecting which country. They're using Pega application for issuing the tickets,
Okay.
boarding, onboarding, and all that. So it is being used on intranet
Okay.
as well, but sorry, internet as well. But again, as I told you, are you generating that much revenue using that? Otherwise, there is no point, right? Will you bring Pega and create a application for a school, joining process? No, right? Licensing cost is too high. Why should I use it for a school? So like that, will you use Pega to build a leave application? No. So it depends how much revenue you are generating. Is this worth using Pega here? Pega has a lot of automation, guys. As I told you, Pega has decisioning, Pega has CRM, Pega is BPM, Pega uses chatbot, Pega has this machine learning, Pega has RPA. When you have so many things, it's worth a lot. Why do you want to invest money in buying such a worthy product and use it for something, where it is not applicable or not that much useful, like a website for school? Why do you need Pega? No, just think about it. Is this really make sense to use Pega here? Then use it. Otherwise, no, don't use it. Okay. Now moving on. Now why Pega? I think we have discussed most of it now. As I told you, it's highly automated, guys. You just saw, right? How I can drag and drop and build the UI, how I can call the functions and methods and do that. Oh, I should also show you this one. One second. You just want you to know, how easy to work on Pega it is. Again, I'm not saying that, it's like a cakewalk, but compared to any other tools in the market, Pega is quite easy. Okay. Let me just open any flow. I just want to show you what is the level of automation in Pega. Okay. Look at this, guys. See, if I want to attach any documents, it's available. It's a plugin kind of available. Okay. Jumping between the flows, you will learn it later. Okay. Creating a transaction here, generating a PDF here, generating a Word document here. Okay, few things you may not understand. Push notifications, sending notifications on mobile here, sending email here. This is also notification. Approval rejection flow. See, you can see how many automations are available easily. Okay, so like this, most of the see attaching content, if I have to do it in Java or .NET, I have to write a lot of code, right? The screen I have to build upon attaching, I have to store the document image somewhere. It's all a lot of thing. But see how easy it is. Just you have a shape, plug in that's it, attachment is done. So like this, Pega has lot of automations everywhere, flows, UI, APIs, functions, methods everywhere. So that's the reason it's quite easy to build a project in Pega, and you can get into the market more faster than your competitors, and you can grab more clients. Even when you have any enhancement, you can build it fast. Okay, just showing you what automations we have. Now coming to BPM, I was telling you, right, Pega is a BPM tool, Pega is a CRM tool, this and that. Pega is more of BPM. We'll talk about BPM. Now first of all, what is BPM? See, BPM is a methodology. Basically, BPM is a methodology. First of all, what is a methodology? Just a set of best practices. Okay, see, you're in IT industry. Now you can't build a tool as you wish. Okay, you should stick to some guardrails, some best practices. You have to stick to it. Okay, so BPM is a methodology, means BPM contains some best practices, some guardrails they will contain. Now, when Pega tool was being built, they have built the tool according to the standards of BPM. See, let's take a real world example. Let's say you are building any product. Let's say you're building any face cream, or you're building any body wash or face soap. You're building something. Okay, you also build it as per the standards of ISI or this that. You have lot of things right in the market. So if they approve it, you say, oh, FDI approve it or ISI approved product, like this we say, right? So similarly in IT industry also, when you're building any tool or technology, okay, we have to adhere to some guardrails and some best practices. Okay, so Pega is a tool which was built as per BPM standards. That is the reason we call it as a BPM tool. Okay, now are there any BPM products in the market? Of course, yeah. Just like, do you have multiple soaps in the market, multiple face creams in the market which are ISI approved? Similarly, you have hundreds of BPM tools in the market. Now, one among the best is Pega. The best BPM tool in the market is Pega. Don't take my word, ask any Pega developer. Okay, it's the best BPM tool, and you don't have any nearby competitors as well. So, what are the other BPM tools in the market? You can see Appian, Oracle BPM, IBM BPM, Kamunda is BPM or not, I'm not recollecting. Lombardi. You have a lot of things in the market. Okay, but one among the best is Pega. Okay. Now, what exactly you mean by BPM, business process management? See, the word is very clear, guys. You hold a business, maybe banking business, maybe healthcare business, maybe insurance business, whatever. You have a business. You have a lot of process involved in it, and you want to organize them. See, if you take a banking business, how many processes will be involved? Banking will have credit card processing, debit card processing, claims processing, loans processing. Multiple things will be there, right? Now you want to streamline everything. So we used some tool to streamline everything and to work on it. Okay. So BPM tools are the tools which help your business process to move smoothly, and we can build apps there. Let's talk more about the BPM capabilities. Now, what exactly all BPM tools have? Okay. See, when they say this is ISA approved product, ISA will have certain things, right? Checklist. If all the checklist is approved, only then you say it's an ISA product. Similarly, when do you say it's a BPM product? So these are the checklists. Okay. Every BPM tool should capture the requirement in the tool itself. So generally, in IT industry, if you have a requirement, okay, so your client says, Nikhila, I want a project, where you have a drop down for country, city and states. That's a requirement. Now how will I get that? They will write it in a Word document. I want a screen like this with three drop downs like this, the values like this, capital letter, small letter, what not, the spellings, the country codes, the zip codes. They will write to me everything very much detailed in a Word document, and they'll give me. Now what BPM tells you is, I want the requirements to be captured in the tool itself, no more Word documents. So if you take Pega tool, we have Agile Workbench. Okay, you can write down your requirements here itself. Okay, in earlier versions of Pega, we used to have something called as We used to have some wizards here, where we used to even write down the requirements, or even here, in the flows also we can write down the requirements. So this is like, you can capture the requirement within the tool itself. No need to externally write it in any Word documents. Where is it? See here. Okay. You can write down a requirement here. You can even upload a document. That's point number one. Okay. No need of external things. The tool should be able to capture the requirements. Second thing, whatever requirement you have written, based on the requirement, automatically the code should be generated. So yes, that's how it works in Pega. You saw, right? Based on the requirement, you can automatically generate the code. Lot of automations are there. You saw. So that's perfect. It should automate work. You saw a lot of automations are there. Okay. Scalable. What is scalable? Suppose today I have launched my application in India. Now my application is generating a lot of revenue. I thought, why don't I expand my business? Okay. So I launched it in US, UK, Russia, different countries I'm launching it now. Now, do you think same project will work in all the countries? No, it will not. Why it will not? It's not my coding issue, guys. I'm telling it will not work because different countries, different languages, right? First of all, not everywhere, they use English, right? In certain countries, they use their websites also in their own native language. So, first of all, language. Second thing is government rules and regulations, right? So, in India, when if I have launched Amazon, the rules and regulations as per the Indian government, I have to follow. If I use the same thing in Russia, UK, and some other countries, I have to follow their government regulations. Taxation, here it is GST. There it is not GST, right? There is something else. Similarly, multiple things keep changing. So, on the tool on which you have built your project should be scalable. Scalable means same Amazon, if I want to launch it in different countries with minimum changes, I should be able to launch it in different countries. Okay. Your tool should support that design. So in Pega, we have something called as frameworks. Excuse me. Using that, we build the project in such a way that the same project can be hosted in different countries with minimal changes. Okay. So they say that it should be scalable. You will learn all these things as we keep moving forward in the training. Now it should not be technology, and it should not be technology dependent. I shouldn't say it. No, suppose Amazon has to connect to Citibank for the payment, or Amazon has to connect to Google Pay, Phone Pay for the payments. I shouldn't say that, sorry, Amazon was built on Pega, it can't connect to .NET or Java or something else. I shouldn't be saying that. Okay. It should not be dependent on any technology and all that. It should be able to. And I should not say that, sorry, this doesn't work on tablets, it only works on laptops, or it only works on mobiles. I shouldn't say that. It should work on any device. So these are all the guardrails of BPM, and it should be easy to integrate. All these things they say. Only then we say it is BPM tool. So these are some of the BPM tools capabilities. If you have all this, only then we say it's a BPM tool. Just like I told you, a product can be an ISA product only if you have all this capabilities. Same way. And coming to the architecture of Pega, guys. See, we can install Pega on Windows, Unix, or Linux. So if you are having iOS, you can't install. Okay. And database, you can use it to any of the databases you can use. And Pega is built on Java, right? So you have to install Java to work on Pega. Servers, because you are building a website, web application, right? So server and client are required. So servers, anything you can use. And finally, Pega tool. Now, is Pega installation this difficult? No, guys. You will just get one zip file. Okay. Inside that, you will have a install batch file. If you click on that, within 20 minutes, all these things, or not Windows, within 20 minutes, all these things will be installed. 15 to 20 minutes maximum. Okay. Everything will be installed and you can start practicing. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay, so what is the latest version of Pega? 8.8 is in the market, guys. So as of now, I am holding 8.7. We'll see if I can get 8.8 and we can start on 8.8. Okay, it doesn't matter, patch versions only, right? If you work on any of the 8 versions, it's more than sufficient to clear your interviews and work in the market. Patch versions are just, some fixes Pega keeps giving. Any questions before we move further? We'll take a break, guys. Okay, but any questions before we take a break?
Hi, Nikhila. Hi, Nikhila.
Hey
Manisha here.
Manisha. Hey Manisha.
So for the different versions, what is the difference between the versions we have?
See, we have, I think I have covered this in the demo. See, we have a lot of versions of Pega in the market. We started with Pega 4, then we had Pega 5. In Pega 6, we had 6, 6.1, 6.2, 6.3. Again, in that also SP1, SP2, SP3. Then 7, till 7.7 it is in the market. Then 8, now 8.8. So every version, Pega comes with some defect fixing or some enhancement. Okay, so patch versions we can't identify. You can just check on the Pega Academy or the Pega website, but if you ask me what is the difference with 6 to 7, 7 to 8, major versions we can discuss. So when we complete the training, I will tell you what is the difference between Pega 7 and Pega 8. Okay, but not 8.1 and 8.8. No, that is not required. Nobody is even going to ask you, because patches, right? They just enhance minor things here and there. See, if somebody asks you what is the difference between Pega's, Windows 7 and Windows 10, you can say Windows 11, you can say. If 11 is having some flavors, it's difficult to say, right? The same way here. But if you want to know the
Oh,
differences, we can check on the Pega Academy website and I can talk about it.
okay, thank you.
Okay. Now, before we go for a break, I just have a question for you guys. See, I said that Pega works only with Windows, Linux, or Unix. Okay. So, suppose if I have built an application on Pega and I'm trying to use it on my iOS, I'm using an MacBook. Okay. Or I'm using iPhone. Will that website not come in my iPhone or MacBook? Because I told that Pega works only on Windows, Linux, and Unix. I want you to answer this after a break, not now. Okay, think about it and answer me. So it is 8:15 now. Let's connect back again at 8:25. 10 minutes break. Okay. So after the break, tell me the answer for this. Don't type in
Question
the
once
chat.
again,
Okay.
please.
Yes, yes, Nagraju.
Yeah, question once again, please.
So the question is,
The question.
I told you these are the system requirements to install Pega, right? And as per that, it works only with Windows, Linux, and Unix. So if I have built an application on Pega and I want to use this on MacBook or iPhone, basically iOS, if I want to use it on iOS, is it not going to work? If it works, why? If it doesn't work, why? Okay. Don't give the
Okay.
answers now. Don't type it in the chat. I want you to come back and answer that. Let's connect back again at 8:25 and we'll resume. I'll pause my screen, guys. I'll go on mute.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. I'm back. Okay. So I see somebody texted me that they have missed the session. You will receive the recording, Teja. Okay. So after the session is completed, I'm going to share you the recording. After an hour or two, you will receive the recording. Okay. So you can watch and you can get back to me. Now, I just want the answer for the question. Does anyone have an answer?
Yeah, we can use a virtual machine as a
So Sandeep says virtual
remote
machine.
desktop.
Ganga says it is not going to work. Any other answer?
It can be used by
Yeah,
using the third-party
Nikhila, I
applications.
can answer.
Yes, Kamal, of course.
Yeah, so basically, for the development purpose, we can use the virtual machines as well, and
Mhm.
like it is not restrictions after the hosting. Once the site is hosted to the server, so we can access the site from the anywhere or any platform like Windows,
Okay.
Linux, and Mac as well, iOS as well. So we
Okay.
can just
Yes. Okay. So Kamal says that when we are develop it on Windows OS, and once it is kept on the hosted, or once it is kept on the server, anybody can access it from any machine. Okay. Preeti, you have some answers.
Yes, it can be used by using the third-party applications.
Third-party applications. Okay. Anybody has any other answers to this? Okay. So Jahra says it won't work. Anybody has any other answers?
I think it will be working for all the devices. Just the UI UX will be changed. For mobile, it will be different. For desktop, it will be different. What
Okay.
I was
So
telling.
that's Manisha's answers. Okay. Now let me tell you. Kamal's answer was absolutely right. Okay, so let me explain you what Kamal was telling. See, basically, okay, when you're building any project in real time, okay, let's say I'm building Paytm or let's say I'm building Amazon. Okay, so what I will do is, let's say Nikhila is a developer. Okay, so the developer is being going to build the app. Now, according to Pega, we can build applications only if Pega is installed on Windows, Linux, or Unix. Okay, now Nikhila, being a developer, is building the application, and Nikhila is using a Windows laptop to build the application. So that is perfectly fine. So here, Nikhila cannot use iOS. They can use only Windows, Unix, or Linux to build the applications. And in any software development company, we will use Windows, Linux, and Unix only. Nobody will give you iOS in any software development company to do the development work. So no problem there, right? We will use Windows to build the project. Now it is hosted on the web, means it is now accessible to everyone. Like Nikhila can use that application, Jehra can use it, Manisha can use it, Kamal can use it, anybody can use it because it is already hosted. So I'm done with my building. Okay, building the application is done. Now I host it on the web. Now when you host on the web is nothing but you just keep some server machine and you host it, right? So here also you can use Windows, Linux, and Unix we use here. Now external users, okay, users who are accessing the application, they can use iOS or Windows or any OS they can use, and they can access that application. How is that possible? How are they able to access it on iOS? See, guys, the application is not on your machine, right? Let's say my laptop is iOS, okay? But is Paytm kept on my machine? Paytm is not on my machine, right? It is somewhere hosted on the server machine. So server machine is on Windows or Linux or Unix. I'm only giving this URL, hitting that server machine and connecting to that website. So in the backend, the server address will be stored in this, right? So this application is actually present on Windows OS only. Although my laptop is iOS, this application code is not on my machine. I'm just hitting the server machine and connecting to it. Let's say Gmail. Gmail, let's say it is built on Pega. Okay. Now, when you say gmail.com, are you actually, is your Gmail built on your laptop? No. Gmail is somewhere hosted on the web. It's on some server machine. I'm only connecting to it using the URL, using the server address. I'm connecting to it. So you can connect to it from any OS, right? I can connect from Windows, Linux, Unix, iOS, from anywhere, and I can connect. It's not on my machine. So of course the website which is built is going to work, because as I told you, okay, you are only connecting to it. You are not hosting it on your laptop. So did you get the answer, guys? The applications which are built on, okay, they are built on Windows only and they're hosted on the web. You, iOS user, can connect to it and use it. You are not keeping it on your machine. If you keep it on your machine, undoubtedly it will not work. But it is on the server machine, which is on Windows, Linux, or Unix. So you can just access it and use it. There is no problem at all.
Nikhila, I
Anybody
have a
has any
doubt
questions
actually.
on this? Yes.
I have a small question.
Yes, please.
You said that you'll be able to work on the web, right? While using the Mac OS. Just you will be hitting the server and you can work.
Right.
Yeah. Will you be able to work on a Safari browser also? Or else you'll be
A
able to
browser is
work
client,
on
man. See, server means
okay.
Tomcat and all these things. Browsers are clients. So you can use,
Okay.
generally we use Edge, Chrome, Internet Explorer. Safari, we are not using it, but I think it should work.
Oh,
So as I told you,
okay.
most of these are intranet, right? So as per the company
Correct.
policies, we are supposed to use only this browsers. Okay, in some companies they
Okay.
even restrict you to use Chrome also. So you can't even install Chrome because you're within company's network, right? They don't even allow you to install Chrome. You don't have the access to install. So we have to go
Right.
with whatever browsers my company is allowing me. So generally we use Edge and Chrome in most of the companies. and it is working, no
Okay.
issues. In your personal edition, you can try Safari once. Firefox. Firefox
I'll
also
do
is
that.
used in most of the companies.
Thanks.
Okay, and they don't have any issues with the browser. Browser is only a client just to display the content. So generally, we don't face much issues with the browsers. Okay, any other questions before we move to the next topic? Okay. So before we move to the next topic, I just want to tell you few things, guys. See, when you work in a real time, okay, we have different teams of people. Okay, so of course, people coming from IT background are aware of it, but those who are coming from non-IT, you should be aware of it. So I'm just telling you because next topic is all about installation, dev studios, and all. So I felt this is the right time to talk about this. So when we work in real time, okay, we have different teams. Okay, so just like in your day-to-day life, you will have buyers, you will have sellers, you will have vendors, you will have merchants, right? When you deal with any local business, you have all these roles, right? Similarly, when you work in a real-time project, we will have development team, testing team, admin team, DB team, engineering team, production support team, and of course managers, leads, scrum masters, all these things. Okay, so everybody's role is different. Development team is only responsible for doing the coding, means building the applications only. Okay, testing team is supposed to test the code, top, bottom, left and right, they will test the code. Their main intention is to see is there any leakage in the code, means in any possible way can we break the code. Okay, that is how they are supposed to test, and then they will, if there are any issues, they will send you defects. Then production support team, see, generally whenever we build applications in real time, okay, we will have, let's say, machine 1 or server 1. Okay, on first machine I will build the code, I will do the coding and I'll test it. Then if I think this is completed, this task is completed, I will take the next task and I will ask the testing person to test the code. Now testing person will not test the code on this machine because this machine is only for development team. So what we will do is we will copy the code into second machine where here testers will test the code. Okay, now if testers tested the code and if it is working fine, we will install it on another machine to undergo a next level of testing. See, whenever you're building any product, don't you do multiple levels of testing? Let's say you have you have a car company. Don't they do multiple levels of testing? Car in water, car on hills, car over there, car. They test all the possible ways, right, to check the security of the car. Similarly, to check the security of your application, the code functionality, and all, we will do multiple levels of testing. So here we call it as UAT testing. Business users will come and test. Then finally, we will keep it on last server where actual users, like actual users, means Paytm, who are the actual users? You and me. Amazon, who are the actual users? You and me. Google Pay, Phone Pay, actual users? You and me. So actual users will use the app here. Okay, so like this in real time, every application will be installed on multiple machines, multiple servers. So this we call as dev, this we call as QA, quality analysis, this we call it as UAT, user acceptance testing, this we call it as production, where the actual users will test the code. So this is production because actual user is testing the code. This is production because actual user is buying the product. Okay, so all these are production, but where are they doing development? They will do it on a different machine. Then they will do two levels of testing in different machines. After completing all the testings and all, if you think it is perfectly working, then they deploy it on this machine. One second, guys. Okay, one second. My screen is. Okay. So like this, you are going to do it. So in product, we have different servers like this. Similarly, everybody's job is different. Okay. Here, dev team will build the code. Here, testers will test the code. Here, UAT team will test the code. Here, production team will deploy the code and test the code. So in real time, we have different teams, guys. Now, why I'm going to tell you is the next part is all about how to install Pega. You are not going to do the installation in your real time because installation has to be done by the admin team. You developers are only responsible at this place to build the code. You are not responsible for the installation. Now, because this is personal edition, you are practicing. Nobody will come and install Pega in your machine, right? So I'm going to give you a video how to install Pega, and I'm going to give you the Pega software. Follow the video and install it. It is very simple. Just three screens will come. Keep clicking next, next, next. 10 to 20 minutes it will take, and it will install the software. Now, what all will get installed? All this will install. Whatever I was showing you, all these will install. Database, Java, server, framework, Pega, everything will be installed, and you can start working. Now, is this easy in real time? No, in real time, it's not this easy because in real time, people will have a choice. Okay, in one company will use Oracle, in another company they will use SQL, in some company they will use DB2, like this. So, admin team will separately install database. Similarly, Java keeps upgrading, right? So, we'll have admin team who keeps upgrading these JDK versions. Server also, every company has their own choice. Okay, so they will install separately. So in real time, all this will be installed separately. So we have admin team who takes care of that. In personal edition, in one single click, everything will be installed. Some default ones will come. Database, PG SQL will come, JDK will come, Tomcat server will come, and Pega will come, and you have to use it. Okay. As somebody has a question, Suresh, you have a question. I see you are not on mute. Okay. So that is about the installation, guys. I'm going to provide you the steps to install and everything. Please follow that and install it. Now, what is the next topic we have for today? Roles in a Pega project. Okay. As I was telling you, okay, we have different roles in a Pega project. We have dev team, okay, who is responsible only for coding, doing the coding part. We have QA team, okay, who does testing. Okay, so they will try to break the code, and if there are any defects, they will raise to us, and will not. We will have admin team who does the installation, server setup, load balancing, all these things. Okay, so let's say everything related to servers. Everything related to servers. Okay, servers and software installations, upgrades. Okay, they take care of all these things. Then we have DB team, database team. Now, in real time, we will not do anything with the database. Means basic things you will do. Basic things means creating a table, inserting data, removing the data. All these basic things you will do. But anything too much at a DB level, you have to do something like cloning the DBs, copying the DB from one to other. All this any too much DB task will be done by the DB teams. They will do. Okay, and then we will have production support team. Who is production support team? See, I told you, right? Whatever Amazon or Paytm you're using today, this is production, means actually end user working here. Suppose I got an issue here. Okay. Now now dev team can't jump in and work here because dev team is already working on the new enhancements. Okay. So what will production support team do? If there is any issue which comes up in production, they're responsible to fix the issues. They are responsible to identify the root cause of the issue and fix the issue. Okay, that is the actual work of production support team because dev team is only responsible for initial development of the code. Okay, so after two levels of testing, when the end users are using, if there's any issue coming up, production support team is responsible for fixing defects in production. So if there's any issue which is coming up in production, this team is supposed to do it. And dev team, QA team will not even have access to production. Means here, if they want to change the code, they can't do. Dev team can't do. QA team want to do any testing, they can't do. Okay, we will not even have access to it. We can only look at it, but no editing changes, nothing is possible. Only production support team will have access. Okay, so these are the various teams we have in real time, guys. Okay, now let's move ahead. Yeah, Scrum team, Scrum Master, also let's talk about it. So in real time, we also have, right, we have managers. Obviously, every project will have a manager to take care of the project. Then we will have, Scrum Master. Who is the Scrum Master? And then we have BAs, Business Analyst. So who is Scrum Master? See, most of the IT projects follow some methodology to build a project. Okay. So nowadays we are following Agile, Scrum. So what is Scrum and Agile? Nothing but, whenever you get a requirement. Let's say, for example, they told me, Nikhila, build me Amazon website. On Amazon, I'm supposed to sell clothes, household items, electronics, XYZ, they told me. I can't build the whole website in one go, right? So what they do is they will break it into small pieces. First requirement, Nikhila, build me Amazon home screen. Second requirement, build me login screen. Third requirement, build me registration screen. Like this, they will give small requirements to me, and I will complete it. I will deploy the code to QA. They will test. Then DB. Sorry. Then UAT. Then production. So we keep doing small things. We will keep doing, and maybe after 1 year, you will build the whole of Amazon. We will build it. Okay. Now, what is the role of a Scrum Master here? See, in real time, we have something called a Scrum team. What is Scrum team? Scrum team is a small team of people who all are present in the team. In Scrum team, we will have few developers, few testers, and a Scrum Master and manager and business analyst. So we all form a Scrum team. Okay, a small team. Maximum size of a Scrum team is 7 members. Generally, we have some 7 members Scrum teams. So this 7 members is a combination of dev, testing, manager, business analyst, and scrum master. So small team. So what do we do? So according to the scrum, we will talk about all this in the towards the end of the training, guys. But at a high level, I'm telling you, generally whenever we get a requirement, okay, we will have some time span to complete it, depending upon the size of the requirement. So it may be 2 weeks, 4 weeks, or 5 weeks. Okay, we'll have generally only these are the time frames we have. Okay, so if you get 2 weeks time frame, first 1 week you're supposed to do the coding. Next 1 week is for the tester to test it. Okay, so like this we will have time frames and we will complete the tasks. Now, what is the role of a scrum master here? So if you're not able to complete the coding on time because of some issues, okay, so scrum master is going to help you in fixing the issues, talking to different teams, talking to the management and getting the things moved for. We have some dependencies, some approvals pending, so he tries to escalate the things and get the things fast forward. And scrum master is responsible for deciding how many requirements we can take in this much time, how many for the next 2 weeks, how many for the next month, how many are still left in the backlog. Scrum master takes care of all these things. What chunk of work to be taken now, any blockers, any support you need, they take up. Or you have any doubts, you want to go and ask the client, the scrum master will go and tell the business analyst, and business analyst will ask the client and get the info. So like that we'll have scrum masters. Then who is a business analyst? Amazon CEO is not going to come and tell us directly the requirement, right? So who will tell us the requirement? So here we have client will tell the requirement to BA, business analyst. Business analyst will create small stories. We call them as stories. Stories means requirements. And these stories will be given by Scrum Master to the dev team lead. Now, this dev team lead will give it to the dev team. So, this is how we get the work. So, the role of a business analyst is to get the requirement from the client, and they will form small requirements, stories, and that will be assigned to the dev team, and we will be given a time frame of 2 weeks, 4 weeks, like that, and they will work on it. Okay, so this is how we do. Any questions on this one, guys? Okay, so perfect. So okay, see guys, See, just learning Pega is not sufficient for the non-IT people to get into IT. So, towards the end of the training, I'm going to talk to you about the Scrum, story pointing, work culture, various types of meetings we generally have. Because generally, even in the interviews, they ask you these questions to make sure that you are not a fake experienced guy. So, they ask you what Scrum meetings generally you have. Different types of meetings are there. What is the purpose of each meeting? What is story pointing? What is the they how do you get work? So a lot of questions will come sometimes to evaluate that you are a true experienced person. So we are going to discuss all these things in our last session so that you will remember it before you go for the interviews. Okay, not only Pega, I'm also going to speak about what different types of tools we use in real time. Like nowadays everybody is using CI/CD, so what we do and all that. Then we are going to talk like which tools you use to capture the defects, which tools for capturing the requirements, all those kind of things. General day-to-day what are tools we use, we are going to talk about all those things. Okay, but not now, end of the training, because I want you to remember all that just before you go to the interviews. So we'll do all that towards the end. So this is what I have planned for today, guys. Do you have any questions? Okay. Uh, as I told you, Kumar, 8.7 or 8.8 I'm planning. Right now, I'm using 8.7 for the last few batches. If time permits, I'm planning to install 8.8. We can move ahead with that. Otherwise, 8.7 will stick to it. Patch versions doesn't matter much. If you're on 8.x, it's fine. Okay, because most of the companies are using 8.x. So it's fine if you're on 8.x. Okay. And guys, just in case if somebody is speaking and I'm not responding, it means that I can't hear you. Okay. In that case, please post a message in the chat. Okay. Because last time it happened, somebody was frequently asking me questions and I couldn't hear them. And that the person was like, you were ignoring me. You didn't answer my questions. I told you I couldn't even hear you. Okay. So if that is the case, please post me a question in the chat so that I can get you. Hot fixes. Hot fixes. How can I teach you, Kumar? See, hot fixes something, it's a software, it's an enterprise edition we buy, we get it and we install it in the things because something is not working in Pega as expected. They give you hotfix. Hotfix is like, it's a defect fix in the Pega software. And as I told you, this is not a work of a developer. Hotfix installation is to be done by the admin team or production support team or engineering team generally does that. Yeah, hotfix installation is a task of engineering team, not dev team. Maybe if you're working in small companies, there everything has to be done by the developer. But generally, if you work in a proper organized companies, hotfix installation is the work of the engineering team and not the dev team. Okay, because even people ask me, do I need to learn database and all? Again, no. Basic DDL DML statements we use. The rest all DB related, DB team will be there. Okay, so if you
Yeah,
have not yet,
Nikhila, this is Sandeep.
yes, Sandeep, please.
Yeah, I've already installed the version of 8.7 in my system.
Okay,
So will it be fine?
of course it is fine, no issues. Just in case if I'm using 8.8, I'll update you. You guys can
Oh,
change it. So uninstallation is also quite simple. Just go to C drive, shift delete the folder. That's it, uninstalled. Fraction of second over. It's
okay.
quite easy. We
I'm
don't go to
currently
control
using
panel.
the
There's nothing to uninstall there. Just from the C drive, we remove a folder and over.
I'm currently using the i3 processor. Like, will that be fine, or else I need to upgrade my system?
It is better to have i5 and above, Sandeep. But just see, try to practice a
Okay.
couple of days and see if it is good, you can go ahead. Otherwise, there will be slowness.
Okay.
Now, minimum i5 we need for
Okay.
Pega.
Yeah, that is what I.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just try to open the login like application of the Pega which I've installed. It's taking a lot of time to open actually.
You need i5 then. Try to upgrade.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yes, Arshin, as I was telling you, towards the end of the training, I'm going to cover all these things like the work culture, the roles, the meetings, all these things I'm going to cover. Because if I teach you now, by 3 months, you will forget all these things. So if I cover it in the last session, it will be useful for you so that you can attend the interviews keeping that in mind. Okay.
Hi Nikhila, there is one question.
Yes, Vivek.
Roles in a Pega project you mentioned, development means coding, but I guess it is just the creation of the application using the tools, not the
By
coding, right?
coding, I meant doing the application building.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
generally when
Okay.
we
Actually,
talk,
I think.
see when we talk in meetings, if they ask you what is the update, we say coding is in progress. Work coding doesn't actually mean the actual coding. I mean like development work in progress. So in that terms, I have said, okay, we don't do any coding in Pega. Again, 95% we don't do any coding, guys. But if you come across any new requirement from your client which is not supported by Pega, you may need to write code, but 95% of the times it doesn't happen because you have a lot of automations in Pega. Okay, just in a rare scenario you may end up also sometimes. Okay. Okay, guys, if no questions, we'll wrap the session here. If you have any questions after the session, you can ping me on WhatsApp, and I will create a WhatsApp group for all the current batch people who have already enrolled. So, any questions you can ask me in the group, not only now, even while practicing. And practicals will start from day 4, guys. Day 4, we are starting practicals. So, by the time I want everybody to have the software installed so that you do practice in parallel with me. And one last thing I want to tell before we wrap the session, guys. See, I have been into this training since 2011. Okay, what I keep observing throughout my trainings is I generally have three types of people. Okay, in my trainings, first type, they are highly motivated and highly dedicated. They pay the fee, they learn, they attend every single live session, they complete all the tasks, and after the training, within 1 month, they are the people who keep sharing me success stories. Like Nikhila, I got placed here with this much height. Second type of people, they are motivated but no dedication. So what they do is they attend like 1 month, 1.5 month, they attend all my sessions. After that, I don't even find them in the training. Later on, they don't even submit my task. Later on, they don't even ask any question in the groups. See, as you keep practicing, you'll get questions that I don't even see them asking questions in the group. Now, when I keep sending them a follow up message, the answer I get is, work at office, medical issues, family celebrations, death in the family, XYZ things. Okay. Then third type of people, they are only responsible till payment. They pay the money. I don't see them in the live. I don't see them in the group. Sometimes they even leave the groups. I don't, see. So I don't want everybody. I want everyone to be on the type one category, guys. Because if you are investing something, try to continue that. And my only agenda for this batch is, to pull this type 3 and type 2 to type 1, I'm going to do some regular follow ups. Okay. So if you're not a part of the live training, I'm going to do a follow up. If you're not submitting the task, I'm going to do a follow up. So when I follow up, at least respond. Okay. Because you have somebody to push you. Okay. So I'm pushing you. Please come to live. Please practice. So at least if you respond, even if you're going off track, I'm pulling your hand and I'm bringing you to on track so that we make the best utilization of this 3 months time frame. Okay. So I just only want one thing from your side. Be a part of the live training, every single live session. Although if you missed the previous session, still sit on the next session. Don't tell me, Nikhila, I missed it, so I can't understand. So okay. Sometimes I start a new topic in the next session. So that's okay. Be a part of live session. Second, respond to me when I ask something, when I'm doing a follow-up. Okay, don't ignore my messages because I'm doing a follow-up so that it benefits you, so that you come off track and you come on track and again you start working on it. Okay, so I want the same zeal and enthusiasm to be continued throughout the 3 months, because every time when my batch starts, I start with 100 plus people, and the last session I will see only 40 people. 60% of the strength, they say like, Nikhila, I'm learning from the recordings. That will never happen. The recordings will only lie in your machine. You will not learn from them. Okay. So please try to be a part of live session, be interactive, ask questions. Any layman question, okay? Nobody is seeing you, nobody knows you. So any layman question, if you even want to ask what is server, what is database, still it is okay. Okay, because you are coming from non-IT background, it's okay to ask anything which you don't know. And I don't feel bad and nobody is going to feel bad. Okay. So anything else, guys, before we wrap the session?
Hi, Nikhila.
Yes, Kumar.
So, Nikhila, at the starting of this session, you said that we are going to work on some healthcare project, right?
Right, exactly. So, as a part of the training in the
Uh,
class, I will teach you banking. Healthcare is a homework, and Paytm is an exam.
are we provided with any kind of documentation for that
So every day after the
to
session,
follow?
you will receive the recording. You will receive screenshots of the practicals to be done. You will receive material. That is for classwork. Homework, you will receive only requirement document. You have to do the coding. And every day, first 30 minutes of the session, I am going to randomly pick a person, get on a screen share, and evaluate what he has done. So I randomly pull a person from the meeting and I ask them. So that's how I evaluate what homework you have completed. And anything you're stuck doing practicing, first 30 minutes of every session is dedicated for doubts clarification. So you can do a screen share and get it clarified. If you're stuck while practicing in the middle of the day, drop me a screenshot in the WhatsApp. I'm going to help you.
Hi, Nikhila.
Hey, Padma.
Good morning. Actually, I
Good
have
morning.
a doubt. What is the purpose of PG admin? What is PG admin
PG
actually?
admin is the database, the
Where
default
should we
database
use?
you get when you install this Pega Personal Edition.
Oh, okay.
So you
Because I
can
couldn't see where you explain it.
see when you install Pega, I told you, right, some default databases will come. So one of the database is
Mhm.
here you get it is a PG SQL. PG SQL, that viewer is called as PG admin. So when you install Pega, that is
Mhm.
default installed in your machine. So when you come to the classes where we deal with
Okay.
DB, I will show you how to open the PG admin and connect there and work there. And if you're learning from the
Sure.
previous batch recordings, once you see the data classes topic, you will see me working with PG admin there.
Mhm.
Oh, I forgot to mention one more important thing. Guys, you get self learning videos as complimentary. The reason I give self learning videos is some people, don't want to wait for 3 months to get into the market. So I give them previous batch recordings, material, screenshots, sample resumes, project descriptions, everything will be given to you. The reason we give you this is whenever you find some time, I want you to learn ahead of the current training. So today, if I'm in day one, I want you to complete day two and day three recordings from the previous batch so that it's a double learning for you. Once you learn from the videos, once again in the live training. Okay. So if this weekend you complete day two, day three, day four recordings, next weekend we will do day three and day four. So by that time you will forget the topics, right? So I'm giving you a recap. So I give self learning as complimentary so that my people have double learning and my people need not wait for 3 months to complete the training. So complete as early as possible at your own pace and try to get into the market. Okay. So if you have already paid the full fee and didn't receive the self learning videos, please ping me in person on WhatsApp. I'll share it to you. Okay, guys. Awesome. We are at the top of the hour. Let's connect tomorrow again at same time, 7 a.m. IST. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye bye.